throat. "Please, no more interruptions," he stated. "Now we are ready to open this lower crypt. We must exercise the utmost caution when we explore it. The atmosphere has already been tested after drilling a hole, and it should not be hazardous. However, we do not know what may be within. Look and survey, but touch nothing. The materials may be delicate and require special care. There may even be traps." He paused, then smiled. "For once, archaeology is like the movies." A few of the team chuckled, mainly the Americans. Alex took a deep breath again to calm himself as the two hardware guys moved toward the engraved stone slab covering the sub-basement's entrance. Both wore hazmat suits and welders' masks and were armed with laser cutters, which they'd use to cut carefully through the stone. This would reduce the risk of damaging anything, not to mention collapsing the temple on their heads. As the men worked, he looked around. The temple's interior was less impressive than he'd hoped. Still, its sheer age filled him with excitement. The facade, although not large, was incredible and in the same almost Romanesque style as the more famous ruins of Petra to the east in Jordan. Behind him lay the Negev desert. Although hot and desolate, it had a kind of austere beauty. Even his one brief excursion into the outback could not match its status as a true wasteland. Undulating brown waves of denuded rock and forgotten dust stretched to the horizon, where the sapphire-hued sky turned bruised purple with dusk's approach. Alex had come all this way for opportunity. Most archaeologists spent their careers hunting pottery fragments. He, on the other hand, not long out of grad school, was already involved in the kind of find that made headlines around the world. He'd always wanted to go to the so-called Holy Land. People paid more attention when a discovery could be tied in with the Abrahamic religions. He'd even begun to learn Hebrew to be safe. This was his big break. And yet, he hadn't done much since he'd arrived. Feldman would get most of the credit, of course. Alex had even fobbed off the worst of the menial labor onto the other junior crew. But with the sub-basement about to be opened, anything was possible. Hissing air escaped the vault as the workers' laser saws drew black lines across the stone. It sounded almost like an enraged animal. The Sheila to the left jumped in place, and Alex almost mirrored her. It wasn't only the sound that had unsettled him. There was also the smell. The odor was old beyond the human conception of time and unclean beyond human tolerance. He snorted when the tension dissipated. They could have tidied up before they sealed the place, instead of simply leaving the mess for us to deal with. One or two people snickered, but most had focused on the doorway. The workmen carefully removed the slab and set it against the adjacent wall. Beyond, they could see only the beginning of a ramp leading down into total darkness. Everyone hesitated, and the temple's gallery was silent. Alex stepped forward. "I volunteer to go first," he proclaimed and raised a hand. Dr. Feldman nodded. "I would, but I cannot walk fast. Someone else will have to help me, and I will be in the back. Take care, Dr. Thomas." He allowed one of the hazmat-suited workmen to accompany him in the front, and the two men walked side by side into the gloom. Their flashlights carved visible order out of the dark nothingness. The other members of the team followed with slow, trudging steps. The passage was rudely cut into the sandstone and unadorned. Unsurprisingly, the temperature dropped rapidly as they descended. The ramp finally leveled off, and his light beam probed ahead into some larger space beyond an opening. His heart thumped against his ribcage. They emerged into the cavern, and he gasped.